we find ourselves yet again talking about that toilet of a nation that's called Australia. They are so absolutely fascinated with their authoritarian digital hellscape they're creating that they're going to light up their monuments. I guess this is a historic moment for the government. They finally have provided security for themselves. Because, like, obviously it's going to be very difficult criticizing them when we already saw that the e-safety commissioner is working really hard at keeping the establishment safe by forcing Elon Musk to delete 2 videos that were very problematic and inconveniencing for the status quo. One of them was the Irina assassination video. The other one was an Orthodox priest getting stabbed in the face by a migrant. And so the e-safety commissioner treated these real-life newsworthy events as if they're fictional movies. And said, well, this is adult only, too violent, we can't show this to the public. This is democracy, by the way, where people get to have an educated vote. With a nanny making sure that they don't get to see images that may be upsetting. Now, of course, you know, the entire topic is very emotionally charged. It's keeping children safe. And so if you're against the social media ban, well, then you're a person that wants to harm children. Clearly, a logical and sane conversation. It's not about privacy. It's not about the fact that the government can't guarantee the security of the people that are going to now share their private information online. No. This is about keeping children safe. And so the question came up, like, what happens with VPNs? Because you see a lot of adults from my generation, for some fucking reason, don't want to think on how it was like when they were kids. It's almost like they have perpetual childhood amnesia. They can't put themselves into the shoes of a teenager who, let's say, is 16, probably still wants to have a wank, heaven forbid, but more important than that, he wants to have access to the internet. And then the government just tells him, no, you're not going to have access to the internet. You can still use Blue Sky. Like, apparently I understand that Blue Sky is not part of this ban. Now, again, I want you to position yourself in the shoes of a 16-year-old. If the government tells you no, are you just going to be, well, you know, it is what it is? Or are you going to start using a VPN? Or are you going to start talking with other kids and figuring out, like, hey, did you manage to find a way to bypass it? Maybe steal your dad's ID? I don't fucking know. Like, again, if you were 16, what would you have done? Or more importantly, like, did you have the cheeky little shit when you were 16 that was a friend that would have managed to bypass his subway? Well, the government apparently has opinions about this. One of them is that if a father gives his account to a child, then the social media should ban that account. In other words, I want you to understand, if I had the misfortune of being born in Australia, and say my son actually stole my ID when I was asleep in order to log on my account, or probably just use my computer, right? Because, like, most of the time you are logged in. Well, if social media would detect that, like, they would shut down my YouTube channel. Not the government, but, like, YouTube itself would have to. Because otherwise the Australian government would get upset. I just want you to, like, fully understand the mental illness and the tyranny that's coming from Australia. Where, like, the government is basically saying, yeah, using the internet is probably like doing drugs. And so it's kind of like allowing your kid to do drugs. It's pretty much the same level. It's mentally insane. But okay, I mean, it is what it is when you have a culture of safetyism and you embrace the nanny state. The other issue is with the VPNs. And so they're now requiring companies to monitor VPN traffic. So let me get this straight, okay? Like, what they're actually asking is that they want Google, they want Twitter, and they want Facebook to detect encrypted traffic that they can't see, that's running on networks that they don't control, on devices that they don't own, and also prevent it from being spoofed by the same demographic that jailbreaks iPhones out of boredom. And they refuse to explain how. Like, this is the beautiful part. Like, you had people in the media that, like, asked the government, well, like, really nice piece of legislation you have there. Any idea how we're going to implement it? Crickets. Because they don't know. But at the end of the day, they don't have to know, right? Because, like, this is another grift. See, these hellscape societies that are authoritarian and they like oppressing their people, they're also not very industrious societies. Like, did you notice that? Right? Like, they don't really create things. They don't create social media. They don't create entertainment. They create authoritarianism. It's kind of like the European Union. They didn't create the first AI, but they were the first nation on planet Earth to regulate the first AI. And so that's the joke. The United States innovates, China manufactures, and the EU regulates. Well, the Australians, they want to be like the EU. They want to regulate. And so if you make regulations that don't have any sense and can't be applied, usually what happens in this grift is play by our rules and we don't fine you. In other words, bribe them, give some money under the table, change the algorithm so that the parties in power have an advantage, remove videos that are inconveniencing, make sure that our censorship is being applied, just don't mention that it's coming from us. And that's pretty much the same what the EU is doing, right? Like, this is how the game is played. It's under the table shit. And if you comply, well, all of a sudden you don't have any issues, right? Like, no kids are using their VPNs in order to connect to your platform. If you're being like Elon Musk, if you're being like X, and you don't comply, well, all of a sudden a lot of children happen to use VPNs on using your platform. And now you have to pay. Where is the money going? Well, into the government's pockets, right? Like, if my kid suffers from using a VPN and going on X, am I getting paid for the damages to my child? No. Who's getting paid? The e-safety commissioner, of course. She makes around $500,000 per year. Granted, Australian money, so probably $250,000. Still way too much. Imagine getting paid that much for being a censor. Like, does a trucker earn that much? No? Why not? Does someone that lays bricks for a living and actually does something, creates a house or something, do they make that amount of cash? No. I see. Very interesting. Really comfy position. Is she American? I think she's American. Like, honestly, when America is sending people, they're not sending their best. But still, this is just the most batshit insane thing. And the thing is, like, the new generation likes this. Like, I see people supporting this. They're actually in favor of this. I still don't understand, like, what exactly do you gain from it? Like, what didn't you have before that you have now? Like, all these people, it's like, social media bad, it's so good. Like, my brother in Christ, if you don't know how to install parental controls, like, tell me where you are, and I'll come to your house, and I'll prevent you from using the internet. Like, that's fine. We can set up a password on your computer, like, if you have no idea how to do it, like, I can do it for you. I can do it for your kids as well. You just have to pay me, because, like, I do it for one person, right? Like, the first one's free, but if you want me to do it for more people, I'll have to commission a price. Jesus. And by the way, you know what's missing from this conversation? Because everyone is like, oh, my children, keeping them safe. Children this, children that. What about the robust age verification corporations that are now gorging themselves on cash? Where did these companies come from? How were they built, literally, when all these legislation passed? Who owns these companies? Why isn't this in the public conversation at all? Like, is this not important? So, like, let me get this straight. There are people that like doxing themselves. I actually got criticized because I say this. Like, it really upset the people in my children's safety camp. They don't like it when I frame it that way, right? But legitimately, like, there are individuals that now have a fetish to dox themselves. So they like doxing themselves by showing their ID to a company that for some reason they trust. And this is like how I argue with a lot of Christians on social media, which I assume they're astroturf because they have crosses in the bio, but like all of a sudden they're really big on this cam. And the way that I win arguments with them is very simple. If they actually support the robust age verifications for pornography, for social media, for whatever the fuck, I will simply say, look, I'm not comfortable discussing adult subjects with a person that can be a child. So I want you to show me your ID in order to make sure that I'm talking with an adult. Because otherwise I'll have to block you. And for some reason, a lot of them are uncomfortable with showing me an ID. These are the same people saying, oh, it's like walking into a bar. It's like walking into a bar. You just show ID when you walk into a bar. Okay, well then just show me the ID if it's like that, right? Like, you want to have a mature conversation with me about age verification on porn sites. This is not the type of conversation that I would have with a 17-year-old, right? So, like, you need to prove to me that you're an adult. And for some reason, a lot of them are uncomfortable. But if, I guess, I were to start a corporation where I'm paid handsomely as the government forces the free market to do business with me, all of a sudden they would show me their ID. Like, why the fuck would they do that? I'm actually curious to see, not if, but when one of these corporations is going to get hacked. And we already had two. Like, we had Discord, one, right, got hacked. A lot of people, passwords and information got leaked. And we also had, apparently, in the United Kingdom, during the beta test for the digital ID, like, another database got leaked there. So I'm curious, like, when all of this shit is going mainstream, and people are going to have to show their ID everywhere, I'm curious what happens when it gets hacked. Because here's the thing, you know, if you happen to have your username and passwords hacked, it's pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty fucking bad. But it's not the end of the world. If you happen to have your credit card leaked, it's pretty bad. But you can still get another credit card. When you have your ID going around on the dark web, I don't know how the legislation is in other countries, but like here in Romania, that's not a reason to get a new ID. Like, you're still stuck on the same social security number. And there's a lot of nasty shit that people can do with that information. And so I would warn people that are my subscribers and live in Australia from complying with this. And what I mean by this, like, if you're an adult, you're the target, right? Like, you're the one that has to show ID and shit. Don't show ID. Whatever you do, do not show ID to these companies. Use video game characters, use VPNs, use Tor, use anything that you can if you're an adult. Because you're not breaking the law, right? Like, if you're an adult, you're an adult. Like, this law is not for you. It's to keep children safe, right? It's not to keep adults from doxing themselves. That's not how they sold it. And if it's not how they sold it, my advice is to make sure that you do not give IDs for these companies, because you're going to potentially regret it if data actually manages to leak. VPNs. I actually doubt that the government is going to ban them. And if they do, there's other ways. Like, you have Tor, you have other options. And if they ban everything, well, video game characters, right? Like, there's options. And even then, like, if you go on Reddit, you're going to see that they constantly update the jailbreaks. And so you need to make sure that you stay up to date. And I have a feeling that the corporations, they're not going to be that anal about making sure that the robust age verification is as robust as the government wants it, because they're still running social media websites. They're not running banks. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.